Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are giving you the second half of our tight end rankings for the 2021 fantasy football season. We want to help you win your draft to win your league. Let's start this fantasy football podcast. Ride meow.
Hey everyone, I am Justin. That is Kyle. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football Podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Yesterday, we hit you with our mid to back end tight end ones. You definitely want to check that out by clicking the link in the description below, and also where Kyle points. Now, this is going to be, I believe, our last installment of our two early rankings because we're going to give you our top 6 tight ends.
Yep.
These are going to be really good players, everybody, but are you going to have to overpay to get one? Let's find out. Kyle, what you got before we get going?
Possibly, yeah. But hey, you know what? Hit the like button down below. And then, if you're down there and you have a comment or a question or something like that, feel free to go ahead and leave it behind because we're always asking. Do you need assistance? That's right. We're here. We're going to help you out this season. And speaking of helping you out, we'd love to talk to you about our Victory Draft Kit. You can head over to ffbupside.com or patreon.com/fantasyfootballupside, and you can get our Victory Draft Kit. It's chock full of awesome information. It's going to help you dominate your draft this year so you can win your draft to win your league. Dominate. We always talk about it, Justin, right? We say you can't win your league on draft day, but you sure as heck can lose your league on draft day.
Yes, you can.
How would you suggest going about doing that?
No,
I mean, we are talking about tight ends, right? So,
we are. We just don't be that guy that, is in a keeper league and you have one of the best tight ends and then a tight end falls to you and you're like, you know what? Maybe we could use this as a trade chip. And then you realize, oh, yeah, you're in a league that people don't trade in. So that didn't work out.
Here's the rule.
Don't be that guy.
That's the rule. Don't be that guy.
Just don't be that guy.
Yeah. So we're actually we're going to run a promotion right now actually on the draft kit. So regularly it's $29.99, but you're going to be able to get it for $19.99 if you go and you enter the promo code podcast. Okay, so make sure you enter the promo code podcast, and then you're going to be able to get it for $19.99. Now, anybody who sees this episode, that coupon, that promo code will work, period. If it's a year from now, that promo code will still be there, period. All right, so feel free. Yeah, we're going to leave that one in there. So that's it's going to be $19.99. So it's always going to be $19.99. It's always going to be 30% off. That's the way it's going to work. All right, so let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end. Wow. I cannot talk, right? Statistics. Yeah, cannot talk. All right, let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, guys, and get this one going. We got
Kyle already has, everybody.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Tight end 6, Robert Tonyan, Bobby T. Bobby T. He had 8 startable finishes with 5 elite games. And if you checked out our last episode, you would know that's actually right up there with the best of them. And
Can you explain what startable finishes are?
Yeah, startable finish, guys. Anytime that a guy finished as a tight end in the top 12 is a startable finish for us. That's strictly for tight ends. Other positions, we qualify startable finish as something different. Elite finishes would be top 6. So these are the guys that outperformed everybody else at tight end and could potentially carry the day for you. So anyway, he finished 3rd in our power rankings, which is another proprietary thing that we've been working on. So check that out. You're going to get that in the Victory Draft Kit. We're going to help you out with that stuff. He was 3rd in total points, but he had 11 touchdowns, and that's where the concern starts to come in because he only saw 59 targets, guys, in 2020, and that's an unbelievable percentage for touchdowns, right? So if you draft him too highly, you're pretty much banking on him having I guess just being the tight end target of all the targets that they have. He's the one guy that they're going to go to in Green Bay, and that's going to be it. And that's pretty tough. I don't see that happening. So where are these targets going to come from, right? I mean, they didn't lose anybody in offense, right? So you're banking
Jamal
on
Williams they lost, but you have
they're not competing for targets
right there. And Quadzilla.
Yeah. But then they added Amari Rodgers too. So Amari Rodgers, slot receiver, built for slot. That's kind of Tonyan's game. When he's out on routes, he's a slot receiver essentially. So it's a tough one. I see it as a difficult chance that he's going to finish as a top 12 tight end, but I do think that you're going to be able to get great weeks out of him. So, all right. Tight end 5, Justin. Who you have?
All right, I have TJ Hawkinson, Detroit Lions, 9 startable finishes with 4 elite games. He finished 6th in our 2020 power rankings, so we think he's going to be just one spot better this year, which top 5 finish would be great.
Yep. Yeah.
That would be great. But you are losing Stafford and gaining Goff. If you didn't realize that, if you've been living under a rock, for a while now, you'll understand that is a drop-off in our opinion. But I look at Hawkinson as a guy that is on the up and up, but he is example number affinity on fading rookie tight ends. As we mentioned with Kyle Pitts from the last episode, as Hawkinson was just okay his rookie year, top 10 pick in the NFL draft, but last year really put TJ on the map.
Yep.
So you do have that overhaul at QB and a brand new offense, but he very well may be the most talented offensive player on this roster, and that's who you scheme for, are those players that are the best on your team. So we think he could see a really good volume.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. All right,
yes, sir.
Tight end 4, here we go. Mark Andrews coming in hot. He had 6 startable finishes with 5 elite games last season. And he finished 5th in our power rankings. So he was behind Tunyon, but we see the opportunity still being kind of good for him there. He was 4th in total points at tight end last year as well. So the difference, a lot of the statistics were the same for him, or slightly not as good as Tunyon's, but we've got him ahead because Tunyon's opportunity is probably going to drop. So the issue is that each year for Mark Andrews has been consistently lower than the year before as far as yards per reception. Whew. And so that's concerning. Then you add in the fact that look, when they do throw it in the red zone, he is the guy over the middle. He's the option. But, how much are they actually going to do that? It's the question.
That's
really
just not their MO, man.
Yeah. And are you willing to pay the draft capital that it's going to take to get Mark Andrews when Lamar Jackson wants to run it more often than not in those scenarios that Mark Andrews would be the guy likely that you would have as your bailout, right?
Yeah.
So it's a concern for me. The draft capital it will take to get Mark Andrews, I'm not so sure about. Yeah.
And that's why we said it at the beginning, everybody. It's like we really like these players as NFL players and fantasy players. It's just, what is it going to take? Are you going to have to pass on some really good wide receivers to pick a tight end? Like, I just,
that's really
the
what this is all
differences
about.
between tight end 4 and tight end 15 is not a whole lot, everybody.
No.
It just really isn't. So, but I don't know. This next guy, though.
This next guy, he's dreamy.
He's dreamy. If you guys know anything about this channel and myself, I really like George Kittle. Just as an NFL player, I just love the way he plays. But so last year was a bit of a bust, though, because of injuries. But he had 3 startable finishes.
Wait. I think for his career it was
the worst. I had to drop that in there just for George.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that. He out of the 3 startable finishes, he did have 2 elite games, but he finished 15th in our 2020 power rankings. That has a lot to do with inconsistency and missing games. So he only played 8 games last year, but like I said, injuries and inconsistent games he played hurt when he did play. That hurt his fantasy production last year, but it is him. If anybody can make a comeback when it comes to tight ends, it's him. But targets and yardage should remain at a high level. Let's just hope more touchdowns this year compared to previous years. That's been his kind of downfall. For some reason, is touchdowns. If he's not just breaking out and just destroying the souls of defensive backs, then they just don't look at him in the red zone for some reason.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't.
I think this is the problem that you're going to see with Tunyon as well. It's a similar offense, right? And so inside the 5-yard line, where a tight end's chances of scoring are just phenomenal, right? Like those are the routes they're running. Those are the routes they're featured in. They go to the run game or the touch pass or the jet sweep. They just don't want to go to the tight end.
Right in the middle or just like, I don't know. I don't understand.
I think it has something to do with like all of them are just so afraid of what happened in the Seattle Super Bowl where they threw against the Patriots in the red zone and on the 3-yard line, right? Or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're all just Nope. No more.
Nope.
No more.
Nope.
Yeah.
I want to be able to sleep.
Yep. I can't do it. All right. So we're going to move on here to tight end 2 for us. And that is Darren Waller. Here's where we start getting into an echelon that I think Kittle can get there again this year. Last year he wasn't there.
I think so.
But this is like these top 3 guys. And it's like number 1 and then the next 2 are really up there. And so he had 10 startable finishes with 8 elite games last year. It's an absolute breakout for him. Whether or not he'll be able to put that sort of season together again, I don't know. And I don't really care, to be completely honest, because I'm not paying what it's going to take to get him in a draft.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
He was second in our 2020 power rankings. He
Not
led Las Vegas.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna work here anymore. Look, he led Las Vegas in targets, yards, and receiving touchdowns. I don't know that I can really trust him to do that again. So yeah, I mean, it is John Gruden, so it is possible. It is possible.
Well, it's not like they brought in, like a Julio Jones or something at wide receiver, so it very well is possible, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
So look, you can't deny that this dude's had triple-digit targets each of the last 2 seasons, alongside 1,100 plus yards each year. Right, so there is that. That's why he remains at the top of our list. Are you willing to pay up for that? I mean, that's a tough one. He's a plug-and-play top 5 tight end for the whole season, and will get you top 6 half of the year at least.
Yeah.
That's just based on what he did last year, right? So those sorts of metrics. Look, if you are considering Travis Kelce, pass and go and then take Darren Waller a round earlier than anyone else thinks you should.
Yeah.
And so what
would that be though? Like 4?
Round 3 or 4.
3? Okay.
3 or 4. If you're in a keeper league, probably round 3. But round 4 in most leagues, I would in most redraft leagues, yeah. But it's the cost is just too monumental for the difference between tight end 1 and tight end 15, like you said. And the amount of injuries these guys get, it is just too tough to go out there and say, yeah, sure, I'm going to spend a 3rd round pick on that guy and forego my first wide receiver or maybe my 2nd running back. Guys that you really have to have the depth and you need to have that top end talent, because the difference between running back 1 and running back 24, which they're all getting played on that day, right? The difference between those 2 things can be extreme.
Yes.
And so it's value based. That's what it is. It's a relative value question. So yeah. All right, Justin, here we go. We've got it. Our top tight end.
Ooh,
what you
hot
got?
take alert.
Hot take.
Hot take alert. Hot take. Travis Kelce. Holy cow. What a shock. 14 startable finishes with 11 elite games. Holy cow, man.
Well, I just want to point out he had more elite games than any other tight end had startable finishes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that made sense. I mean, he finished first in 2020 power rankings. See, guys, the algorithm works. It works.
It's infallible.
Yes. But
it's gold, Jerry.
That's gold, Jerry. The crazy one is right there at the bottom. He would have finished as wide receiver 3 overall in points per game if he was labeled as a wide receiver, but luckily he's a tight end. But he was also, I believe, 5th year in a row as tight end number 1.
Yeah.
No reason for that not to be the case again. I mean, I do not remember the last time a player has dominated his position like this in fantasy football. Travis Kelce. You really can't.
Of it. Not for this extended period of time. I think that we've seen it for like maybe a 3-year period.
Maybe. Like a LT or like LaDainian Tomlinson or something like that, maybe?
Tomlinson, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe like a Michael Vick during...
or another tight end, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it.
I don't know. It's insane what he's been able to do at the tight end position year in and year out. And the Chiefs, I mean, Sammy Watkins no longer there, so they're really going to rely on Mecole Hardman, who's still inconsistent. So, I mean, they're really going to have to keep looking at Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. I know, hashtag analysis right there, everybody. Hashtag analysis.
You know what, though? When you see these numbers, the way that we break them down, and you look at the differences in startable finishes, elite games, all that stuff, there doesn't need to be any analysis. Like, you look at it year over year, and Travis Kelce is the tight end that comes off the board first. And he's worth considering in the 2nd round back of the second round, but I think it's a real risk. Maybe top of the third if you can sneak him into the top of the third, that's okay, because you are looking at a guy that, again, he was top 3 for wide receiver.
That's just silly.
Yeah, that is nuts. So yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our tight end rankings, as well as our rankings for the midsummer series. We might hit these rankings as we get closer to draft season.
Oh, yeah.
Make a run through again for everybody, a last minute ranking series or something like that. Next time you see us, I don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about.
I bet you we're going to do some sleepers.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely hit up some sleepers. The sleepers are always fun episodes because we get to talk about guys that you have no clue who we're talking about. Most of these rankings episodes, you know every single name.
Right.
Like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Right.
But the sleepers are pretty fun because we're given names that, like Tyron Johnson. You know that name?
Oh,
that's a name to know, guys. So make sure that you check back with us. We're probably going to hit you up with some sleepers next episode, and then launch into maybe some draft strategy or some other stuff. We'll see.
I like that.
We'll see. I don't know if there'll be enough time. So we'll just have to see.
Try it on, see how it feels. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging around. We'll see you next time. Bye.